Welcome to the Pitt Stop Podcast. I'm your host E, aka R Moneybags, and we got the Pitt crew with us today. I got my man K Ego. What's up, bro?
Hey, what it do? What it do? I just had to check to make sure we was recording, but we are recording because But I'm good, man. I'm here, man. What's up, baby? Another show, another week. What's good?
Thank you, sir. We got my man Rose McCray, aka Jay every day, man. Hey, Jay, tell him what we doing the show, man.
Hey man, that's where we shoot the shit, talk about everything except politics.
Shout out to our producers that didn't do our transition, but it's all good.
No transition, bro.
And,
yeah, that's crazy. I mean, maybe because I got to do my high sound good because like I don't need that mess of transition up.
Shout out, baby, live.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah,
we live.
Man.
I got a little technical glitch, but let's fight through it, man. Let's fight through it.
Right, for sure. We good, man. And today, man, we got a very, very special guest, man. This guy, man. So we do the show, man. We get bios, we get resumes, we go down, we do our research and stuff. This guest we got today, man. The resume is extensive. I will say this, yeah. And I can't wait to get into it, cause like when you read something like, yo, how did he get here? How did he get there? How did that happen? Hold on, I got so many questions right now, yo. So with that said, man, I want to introduce to y'all, man, entrepreneur, comedian, actor, all around businessman, man. Welcome to the show, man. Tunji Akindoro.
Yes, sir. Let's
go, baby.
You was good. The crazy thing is now, so what's crazy about my name being Tunji Akindoro, there's a phase of people who know me as Tunji. So Tunji is experience. So it's like, obviously what's crazy being born in this country, I was like Tunji, everybody knew me as Tunji. But if you go to, like right now, if Africans, who is Tunji? His name is Tunji. His voice, don't let them tell you your name is Tunji. It's Tunji. So, you know what I mean? But it's cool. It's cool, though. That's, again, the comedy side of, like, this is what you had to deal with growing up and whatnot, man. Glad to be here. I appreciate y'all, brothers. I know you guys are a busy group of men, and the fact that, I ain't gonna lie, it's still different to hear somebody wanting to hear the journey,
Hey, no, look, like I said, man, before we did an intro, like you said, we go through every guest, we go through bios and go through resumes and stuff, and do our Wikipedias and all that. And then like you read, like, golly, I'm looking at this, it's like, geez, man, you been around, brother.
Yes, man. Yes, sir, man. We've been working, man. I'm online, still working, but it's been a long journey, man. It's been a long journey.
My first question, number one question, how do you know this guy right here, man? My man Jay, man.
Man, let me tell you. All right, boom. Look, you know where the story started up? All right, boom. So it's freshman year, Coppin State University, and I got my first girl in my college career. She was from Baltimore. So I was walking on campus, and then as I'm walking on campus, you could hear the strays of Joan, and I don't know, my Joan was like very key. So I was like, hold on, is he Jonan? I was like, all right, I'm with Shorty. I drop her off, or she leave, and I walk back, and it's three of them, and he one of the three that from on site was Jonan, and it's like, what? Was you Joan? It's almost like, I can imagine what gang banging, get like when gang, like they from two different places and whatnot. Like, where you from? Where you from? It's like, is you Jonan? Is you Jonan? Is you? So that we always saw. First of all, being from PG, Georges County, already in Baltimore. So from those moments of just joning on each other and seeing each other on campus, he kind of really took me in as a younger brother. Like, you straight? Like always making sure I'm good. Even moments of me doing stuff on campus and it might be wild. He like, hey man, lock in, or you straight. So you still might be in the cafeteria and be like, boy, you looking like, you might catch a straight. Yeah, but yeah, man, this guy right here, I've seen him through my journey of first being 18 and graduating from Coppin State than in the work field. So you can imagine being in the corporate space and seeing somebody that you've seen since you was 18 and he's, oh no, he really, okay, this ain't, oh, he ain't joning in here. He working, you know. So
Right.
level of him is inspiring as well. Then the comedy side, you know, he always been funny. I mean,
Yeah, nah, it legit.
Right.
Legit.
like it's different. You know how I think being in LA and my journey, I've learned that there are people who are funny, but they try to be funny. Then there's
That
people.
part.
It's just pouring out of you. You can't
Yeah.
make it.
Mm-hmm.
James is one of them people for sure where he not trying. It's just gonna happen. You know, it
So-
might be a sad situation, people crying. Somehow he might crack a joke in there, and then you know, and it'll lighten the room up.
So with that said, the reason why we named the podcast a Pit Stop is after our friend, the late great Jr. Ronald Pittman. So
Peace.
him and we both we all good friends, right?
Yeah.
So him, like Jay and Pitt together, bro. Like you talking about her funny, bro. Now Pitt was one of the funny people I know
Yeah,
by far.
yeah.
So imagine like having grown up with these dudes, man. The amount of comedy that was around.
You just get fascinated for no reason. Like you know how there's certain people like when you would like, nah, I gotta put this on right because if I get around James and them, they finna find me up. I don't got time.
And look, and the funny thing about it, you can have the best thing on in the world. It don't even matter.
Mm-hmm.
Everything fresh. Everybody could
They
literally
gonna
check
find something wrong
side,
with it.
and then he'd be like, "But why the back of your neck look?" You know, it'll be out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't even see my neck. Everybody, it's not. It's not that.
He's been very humble, man. He's always been funny. He's always been, you know what I'm saying, cool dude. Always been in the mix. You know what I'm saying. One said the good thing about him was he wasn't scared to put himself out there. He wasn't scared to be who he was. You know what I'm saying. He didn't. He wasn't all about following the in crowd. He was who he was. You know what I'm saying. From the time I met him, he was who he was, and even when he came to Park and Recreation where I work now, when we read up, he was with the street team there. You know what I'm saying? He was doing street team stuff for the teens and stuff like that. So he stayed in that element no matter where he was, whatever, even if he was in the, you know, we call it corporate world, but you know, he definitely was doing the street team. He had the jackets, they had the rap vans. You know what I'm saying? You think they was pushing movies and the rappers and stuff like that, man. But
that's real.
Yeah, so like he's always been this person.
I want to do something. How'd you? Were you born in Nigeria?
No, I was born here. I was born
Okay.
in. My parents came to America. My dad came maybe like late 70s. My mom came here around like late 70s, early 80s type time. So my dad and they've been here for. So think of me like literally. Everybody hates Chris just with a little Nigerian jello fries. That's literally me right there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So looking into your early years, man. You know, I went to school too. Normally, when we get a degree, 90% of the time we typically not doing what the hell we went to school for, right? So, so you know, sports management. That was your major. That was your bachelor's of science degree that you got in.
Yeah.
You got to a moment like earlier in your years, you were very driven by impacting the world, and one of the biggest form of, I would say, in the market industry, as far as impacting the world, the first option is art. You get what I'm saying? So, you know, you chose, you know, what chose that journey that you wanted to make that pivot from going to what you went to school for. What gave that in a sense of you know, lost my train of lack of a better word. Shit, I'm trying to say what sparked that pivot.
Hold on,
you know what I mean?
Fight your way out, son. Fight your way out. Fight out, son.
Because when I look at James on this goddamn screen and I see his devilish eyes, like Because I'm looking at somebody to give me a word, but he's looking at me with that fucking grit.
Oh, so I'm here. Oh, so I do the okay. You,
Hey, my bad though. Hey, we definitely let you sink though. We like,
you got it, big dog.
I look right at you. See James' face right now. I look right at him. That shit I sunk right then and there, man. I'm looking for a man to save me.
Hey, because I didn't know what you was doing, Ryan Clark.
No, Ryan Clark.
I was definitely giving my Ryan Clark on, man.
Hey,
you was getting one word with 3 syllables in it. You'd have had it right.
You was there. I don't know what happened. I don't know what you started asking.
The crowd and whatnot. He said there like, hey, I'm done. But
podcast. Oh my god, man.
But the honest,
he was trying to ask you, Tunji, was of course you went to school for sports management.
Man, I can ask my damn question. You went to school for. Don't do that shit. I'm sorry, I can't say that word.
Now you gotta work. Now you gotta put extra work on timestamp.
Oh my god, you could not say that.
Timestamp 17:05.
Sports management, man.
Class, you remember that one person trying to read a class and y'all trying to go out? He just like, I'll read it. I don't want. He's like, I can do it.
God damn it, I got it.
Oh god.
Oh my god, man.
Come on,
so
AK.
What sparked that change? Going from what you went to school for to going into
what made you
the entertainment
life.
I mean, one, to be honest with you, even though I graduated with that major, I should have studied business, to be real with you.
So why sports management though? Before you get
sports management, so real talk of it, let's keep it a stack. I'm an African kid, so back during that time, that's what you will go to school for physical therapy. You will be a physical therapist. You will save the world by physically giving them therapy. That's what. And I went there the first semester and I was taking the classes because you would take these bio classes. And when I started taking these labs, I was like, no, man, I can't do it. So I had already done enough where to go to sportsman. They were pretty much, if I wanted to do business, I would have to do another 2 years. So I was like, dog, I got to start from the bottom and do 2 extra years. So sports management, my concentration was sports medicine. So I was able to take them science credits that I did with those labs and just transition them into sports medicine as well. I did do my practicum. I did my internship at a physical therapy, sports pro physical therapy. It was okay, but secretly I just knew that wasn't really going to be it. Because even during the time of being in school, I'm still throwing parties. I'm still hosting events. I'm still, I'm doing a lot of things on campus, student leader, in the frat.
You moving and shaking.
Already, I just was kind of still at the level of, getting my parents off my back, if that make any sense, where they can't be upset. And I'm the oldest in my house. So I'm like, I know I got to do this because I know I got my siblings, but to really get my parents off my back. So the transition for real to the entertainment side wasn't even really entertainment, to be real with you, until I moved to LA. I would watch it. I got to wear contacts now and glasses now because I used to be the kid right in front of the TV. I used to get popped in my head because I would be that close, but I was so intrigued, like, how? Like, Rhapsody in the Basement or just different shows, like all that. I used to really look at them kids like, that's crazy. How did I can do that? Or the Temple Run show, you know what I mean? Like, I can get on here, but where we come from, you're not really gonna see that. So it was in the back of my mind. But when I got to Coppin and I started hosting events, and the celebrities that would come through to the school or the comedians that would come to the school, that was the first time where I'm like, No, that's Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart came to Coppin State University.
Yeah,
He definitely did. Kevin
yeah.
did come.
I was there. I was there. I was.
So it's like to be right there, you know, even though I'm working students, I'm just like, no, that's Kevin Hart. And it's like Kevin when he
Right.
was, you know,
Early
so it's moments
Kevin.
like that I was like, it's possible. But by me leaving Parks and Rec and moving to New York, I didn't realize in 2012 that was me really trying to find my way into the entertainment industry. I just didn't know how. So working at the ad agency was like my first way into the business right now.
So
Mhm.
do you know when you fell in love with entertainment? Like, do you know when you fell in love? What was it? Like, it was a certain TV show. Like, I heard you say Rap City, you know, I heard you say Temple Run, but like, do you know when you like, yeah, this is it? Like, what was the thing, or did you, or was it always like something that you that burned the fire, lit the fire under you? Like, you know what I'm saying?
I know it's gonna sound cheesy again, even being an artist, but going to church, like I always had a mic in my hand. So
Okay.
performing, you know, I was the kid that was singing with the adult choir. You know what I mean? Like, so and nobody really knew that, but the audience, you know, that was why I was never. I literally from the age of like 9, you know, if you singing with the adult and then playing the drums, so there will be times after church people didn't realize it was they had the drum set there, so there would be certain songs that I would hear. I didn't have a drum set, so I would just play it, and I would be literally imagining it in my head like, man, I know I could do this. So I always had it in me. The mic was always in my hand secretly, whether I'm joning with my homeboys, you know, talking to some girl, making her laugh, or you know, me and my homeboys freestyling. You know, it was all around me. I don't know how to explain it, you know. So I would see it, but there was nothing that I could refer to. Like Martin, when I found out Martin was from PG, I was like, "Palmer Park, Martin is from."
Right.
But really, that was kind of like one of my like, no, that's right down there. That's by Kentland. That's right. I know
Hmm.
that. So maybe that, but again, a lot of my life until I was probably maybe in an awareness, a space of awareness that I could understand that even through my journey is kind of like basic training for war, if that makes any sense. Not realizing that I'm learning.
Yeah, it's all. But you, like you say, you by you just being active and moving around and shaking, you place yourself in these rooms with these people around the industry and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like anything. Like I look at it even with the podcast. Like
Mm-hmm.
I had a podcast a long time ago, but it led me to this moment. It led me to this. It leads me to I'm meeting Ice Cube. We meeting somebody else and doing
Right.
this. But they're all because we just started something or we just put ourselves in a position a long time ago. And you see,
Mm-hmm.
I see in your story too, man. Just you
Yeah.
being in position.
Right.
I never looked at. You know, it's funny hearing you say it out loud. I, again, I think it's position, favor, and just not being again, like James said, not being afraid to be like, all right, no,
Yeah,
like,
yeah. You
Right.
always, like I said, you always was that willing to step out there and be who you are. Like, I mean, you figure like just looking at like some of the stuff you did, I didn't even know you did like 93.9. I didn't know you was on the radio like that. How'd you even get that? You know what I'm saying?
So when I left Parks and Rec, I moved to New York and I was working at Translation. Translation is an advertising agency that is owned by Steve Stout.
Which I
Uh,
wanted to get there too. We'll get
Yeah. I was gonna
there.
get there.
I
Yeah.
never had a question about that.
yeah.
Hmm.
So when that New York time in New York of being in New York for like 2 years, coming back and forth, ended, I would go to New York, work during the week, and I'd be throwing parties on U Street. I would catch the little Chinese bus or the mega bus down. And after a while, you know, that grind, it just was like, all right. But because I worked at Park and Rec in the street team, we used to collaborate with them, and I created a middle school tour so we can get kids in the rec center. So we would work with WKYS all the time. So at that time, Angie Andrews still on the air, and then you would work with the promo team as well. So I already had kind of a rapport with them. I came back home for Howard's homecoming, and I was on the yard, and I was back back in the back area where everybody else was, and I saw the radio station. My man Cal, and it was during the time.
Kyle on the mic.
It's yeah. Cal on the
Kyle
mic,
on the mic. Yeah.
So when that's crazy.
Kyle has done a couple of things for us, like you know what I'm saying, in the joint. Kyle doing numbers.
Yeah. So when I was kind of there, he like, oh, what you up to? I was like, man, I'm back and forth from New York trying to figure it out. He was like, well, we got a position in the promo department. And I was on it. And, at this time, my parents already still like, so what are you going to do? You have left for your New York and you are back here. Where is your life going now? So I got to find something, and it was a blessing that it was still in that industry even more. So, when I got in there, man, I was blessed to be around when Russ Parr and the morning show was still there. Demon, April
that was a beautiful time, man.
Yeah.
Cheryl Jackson was there. I'm in there learning from the standpoint of promo under Angie. Angie doesn't even know how much I just would watch from the side, being a little sidekick, you know what I mean, helping her out. She secretly was one of the first people to show me how to deal with celebrity. Because I've watched her be in moments where she's tired, she's sick, she's not feeling good. But as soon as the fans that would come out or the listeners would come out, even if it's, can I take a picture? She might be tired. She, now, come on, I got you. So it's moments like that. Again, back to what you're saying of being in the right place. If I wasn't at 93 point at Radio 1 at the time, I wouldn't have known that it was time to leave. If I wasn't at the radio station, when I finally was going to get the courage to go, and this is no lie, I was working at the radio station, and as I was trying to figure out how I'm going to get to LA if I'm going to go to LA, I go home, I watch this show called Master's Class with Oprah, and it had Berry Gordy on it.
I remember that.
I come in to work, and it was kind of those moments where, I write in the journal, and I was like, God, just reveal if I'm supposed to make this move or not. So I'm going through my work shifts. I'm at the radio station. One of my jobs is to call hey, this is so-and-so from WKYS. We have your tickets here at the da-da-da-da-da. So I'm doing my calls as usual, and no lie, I'm in there. You know how you feel somebody on your shoulder, like, that energy, like if it's your cubicle, you like, who? Like that. And no lie, I turn around and I look, it's Berry Gordy.
Oh, get the yo.
So it's Berry Gordy, right? So mind you, imagine me like,
yeah.
And you know how some people that look like somebody else, and you like, nah, that ain't bad. And he's standing there like, yeah, nigga. So I'm on the call. I hang up the phone. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you, I'm still in shock. And he's like, it's okay. He was like, I heard a voice. And I just wanted to see who it was. So I'm in the cubicle. So imagine me in the cubicle. And you know how you can stand up in the cubicle and look around?
Yeah.
I stand up and nobody's around. Nobody. So imagine for a radio station and you come, I'm like, where is, because in my head, I'm like, nobody's going to believe me. No, they're going to think I'm lying. And he's like, I'm like, do you need something? You lost? What can I do? He was like, nah, I just wanted to see who it was. Mm-hmm. So, he's like, tell me about yourself. And I told him. And he said, so what do you want to do? Wow. And I said, and this is a moment, again, back to what you were saying, James, about, not being afraid to say what you want. You know what I mean? But at that time, I with anybody else, I would have been scared because I'd have been like, they're going to shut down my dream already. But right. I'm like, in front of the source right now. And I literally said, I want to be an entertainer. I really was thinking about moving to Hollywood to become an entertainer. He looked at me. And he was like, you should do it. And I was like, what? He was like, yeah, you should do it. I was like, okay. And at this moment now, I'm like, I got to get a picture. Nobody. I said, can I get a picture? Da da da. He's like, yeah. He asked the assistant came around the corner. He asked me my name like 3 times. He said, "Look, man, you should make that move. I think that's something that you should do for yourself."
Wow.
So what's crazy is, as soon as we take the picture, you know what the picture? If I send you the picture, I'm gonna send you the picture, James.
All
It
right,
was like
send it to me.
Coming to America when he's in the bathroom, and he's like, "He did good."
Hey,
No.
hey,
It was. He's
we
like,
gonna
what is
definitely put that picture up too. We gonna put
This
that
is the
picture up.
greatest day of my life. That's the picture look like. Cheesing and all. Like I just came to America. That's exactly how it looked.
I
But
got
when I left, again, I bring up all that to say like every piece of the story was needed. If I wasn't at KYS, what are the odds? The kid who listened to Motown, loved Michael Jackson, is being told by the man that, yo, go to LA. So every piece of I literally bought my one-way ticket that Friday. I didn't tell nobody.
Wow.
That Friday, I bought my one-way ticket and didn't tell nobody. I didn't tell my family. I didn't tell nobody. I was scared to.
Yeah, I
I
can
felt
imagine trying to tell your parents. Well, you know I'm going to LA now.
right,
if I
right.
how that went, if I told you how that went, that was even more scary. Like because I already moved to New York, so they like what?
Right.
To New York, that was already one, and it was during the time like 2012 when it was like the recession. It wasn't a recession, but you remember like it was
Coming
hard
out,
to get.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was at
That's
a
right
point
around. That's right around the time the housing market crashed around that time. Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
And I was doing well enough in park and planning that if I would have probably stayed just based on the street team, you know, everybody's like, why are you going to leave? But I knew I wasn't passionate about it. And for me not being passionate about it, that's what made me go to New York. But my parents were kind of like, again, like you said, Jane, that boy going to do what he want. And it's never, I can thankfully say it hasn't been a journey where it's not like I'm on some Hillary Banks like, Daddy, I want to go to New York. Pay for my apartment. You know what I mean? Like, no, I'm genuinely gonna have a plan, and I'm gonna, you know, if I need the help, okay. But it's not him feeling like he's taking the journey with me.
Right.
I mean, but when I knew, first of all, I already bought the plane ticket because I knew already, like, if you buy it after, you're not going anywhere.
Right.
I remember when I first told my mom, I said, "Mommy, I'm thinking about going, you know, moving to LA." And I remember she was sitting there, you know, Africans, they so, you know, they try to be low key, but they'll say something like, you know, I told her, she's like, so you want to go to LA to be a comedian? Yet that made me laugh. How is that? You want to entertain? You want to be a jokester? Is that what you want to be? And you know, still at the end of the day, she still supported. You know, but but you have to think about it. You know, I don't know if y'all have children, but can you imagine your child like, boy, you ain't even that funny. What is you
Bro,
trying to
hey,
do?
look. Hey, yo, God rest his soul. I remember I told my father that I tried to stand up too, right?
Oh man.
I told my father, I said, yo, I'm gonna do stand up, whatever. He did the first thing he said. You ain't even funny though. Like, yeah, like, damn, pop the fuck down.
Nah, you gotta be right. I got a daughter, man. She was singing the other. She want to try singing. I said you can't sing. Like you sound terrible.
Why is it out there?
Terrible.
Y'all, you're the worst bird.
No, I'm being
horrible.
I'd rather her get it from me than some stranger out here. I'm telling you, you cannot sing.
That's why I look. So, hey, when I did a stand up. I purposely invited him too, bro.
Yeah,
you know how hard. I had to.
You got
and I did my thing. I did straight or whatever.
Yeah.
And then here he go. He's like, all right, man. You know, all right, that was good. That was good.
You got a little something.
Hey, look, but here you go. My father being my father. Yo, here you go. Man, shoot, I can go ahead and get them there and tell some jokes too, man. I go ahead. All right, bro, you got it, man. Goddamn, man. I can't get nothing.
First, because you can't say anything else like try to hate already. Boy, you just gotta be like, all right, Pops, you got it. I don't even but you know, my mom, when she said that, it was true though, because I've never, even though I had the mic in my hand and stuff like that, I can imagine she like, you want to give up what you have now to go across the country to a place where we don't have no family out there. New York is different. New York, I can catch a little Chinese jump and just go up there, come right down. We got family up there. But LA is a whole, you can't just, I'll be back over there on Friday. It's a whole flight.
Right.
Yeah.
But, I said, and what's funny? I said, well, this is probably what I did. Not knowing exactly, me being petty. All right, I ain't funny, but guess what? I already bought my ticket, so I'm going. You know what I mean? That's probably how the conversation probably went. My pops was just kind of like, he's like, okay, well, this is what I suggest. I suggest you stay for a little bit longer, stack up some more money, get get a whip, take the whip out there with you, this, that, and the third. And now knowing what I know, logically, that makes sense.
Right.
But where I was at, just, I felt spirit guiding me was like, nah, you gotta go now.
Yeah.
If you don't go now, you never go. So
you would have got stuck in that rat race. You would have got stuck in
Yeah.
that rat race.
You can never plan for it.
Yeah, because
never
you would have
plan
wound
for
up
it.
staying where you were. Let's say
See-
your growth would have been there. The next thing you know, you never made it to LA.
Exactly. And the good thing you did it when you was young.
I mean,
Yeah.
and that's a parent instinct. They just want you to be okay. They
Mhm.
they believe in you, but what's most important, you get out there. I want to make sure you're good. You know what I'm saying? That's a natural parent instinct right there. So, how your career went from working in the the street team to going to you making that decision to transition out there. I wanted to just take a step back because like when I looked at your resume, you just like what E say, your it just goes sequentially. Like it's very interesting to me. So the Ambition album, Wale, you work for the East Coast director of the street team, and you you did your marketing and advertisement, and then there was a step from that portion. We're gonna talk about that, but then you transition from that to working for Steve Stout, his company, doing the same thing, but you got your training doing that Grammy nominated Ambition album. So like walk us through that, like how you made that pivot.
Man,
Well, not a pivot, but a transition is a perfect word.
I mean, it's still a pivot. I agree with you. It was a pivot just because even I'll say this. First, the Wale situation happened. So obviously, at one point in time, I was a promoter. Everybody's a promoter in the city.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in love. Slim, come, bring your little youngins. You know what I mean? Everybody was a promoter. So at that time, I was still working at Park and Rec. I was promoting, and I remember just seeing like this is when he was with MMG, and there was marketing like somewhere online. They were like he's looking for marketing team to build his street team. I just so happened to be doing promoting a party at Love, and literally I think it was. I forgot who's, maybe Miguel, but Miguel was there. My man Black Cobain was there. Wale, and I didn't know so much about Wale. I'm a Wale fan, so I already knew I know who the team is. So
Gotcha.
he has G, LeGreg, and Mo Muhammad, the owners of the museum. Those guys. There was the collective at the time was Board of Administration. So the BOA at the time was who was running the marketing and the street team. And again, back to this is as I'm talking, because I've never had to really break it down, I'm really seeing it now, the reoccurring theme of just going for it. I saw G, I told G, I literally walked up on G, did not know G, and he seen me there because I was promoting, but I said, I want to help run the marketing for Wale's next album.
Who says that?
Hey.
You can imagine, like, nigga, what? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He said, again, I'm a young boy, so he's like, go talk to him. You know what I mean? I got his number. After I got his number, he was like, we're going to tap in with you. They had went up to, I'm guessing, New York for ESPN or Sports Center for the record, so I ain't hear nothing. Then I get a random call. And from there, I went down I met up at the studio in Silver Spring, and I forgot what the young lady name was. We was running it, and that was the first time where I had to get the emails. I had to go on the Howard campus. I had to go to the different universities.
Hey, real talk. That album was heavily promoted in the city, bro. That Ambition joint. Now that I think about it,
Don't love me for my ambition.
yeah,
I was so thankful, and again, the blessing of it was that GMO saw something in me where they was like, nah, go for it. They
yeah,
never did it. They were never afraid. Because one thing I've been blessed with is to be around OGs or be in the rooms where the people who doing things is there. But I've experienced where, as men, where the ones are afraid to let the young ones behind them get next to them. They want you behind them.
for
You
sure.
know, thankful to be around Mo and G. They was like, no, you go out there. They'll push me out there. Like, run this team. I might have had even, and you can imagine me now coming home with boxes of posters and what is this? What is? I'm gonna tell you. Hold on. Side note. Side note. And I didn't find this out till that day. My mom was like, this boy is looking so familiar. Wale, Wale. And my dad is like, what is his name? So I told him his real name. He says, I know his mommy and daddy. Whole time from what they say, unless they gassing it, my parents, when they first got together and were living in the area, knew Wale's parents. And Wale was just maybe a little bit older than me. So I wasn't even fully like one yet. But my dad and his dad used to drive cabs. So
Oh
that's
Oh
shit.
how
wow.
more. So imagine me bringing the poster and she's like, I know this boy. And my mom, like, I've seen him before. She's like, yeah, I remember him and his brother.
Wow.
So that became even, and I wonder in moments like that, are they ever like, what the fuck? Like, how did this boy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So now, I do the stuff for Wale, Ambition album, everything. It comes out well. It's Grammy nominated. And to be honest, I was like, oh, something's gonna come out. Like, oh, I'm about to get on entertainment side now.
Right.
And I'm leaving Parks and Rec. I get a chance for an interview in New York at Translation. So, okay, boom. I'm gonna take a step back. After Wale's Ambition album, it gave me a chance for a lot of opening conversations in the city where they like, who the one? So I got
Right.
to meet a lot of folks in the city based off of that. So someone, while I was working at Parks and Rec, said, have you heard of this guy named Steve Stout? And I'm like, Steve Stout? I've never heard of that person. He said, you need to go check him out. Ironically enough, he had a Breakfast Club interview. And I went and watched it. And he had this book called The Tanning of America that was coming out at the time.
Yep.
So The Tanning of America, I'm watching the joint, and I'm looking like he's thinking like how I think about marketing and how I view the world, where I felt like the world was shifting from black and white to it was shifting to where, the younger kids again, I'm on the extreme. I'm working with teens already.
Right.
So I'm seeing the different parts of the county where there are kids that might be in Laurel that have more white kids and there are kids who might be in Suitland, but they're not necessarily about, oh, you black and I'm white at that moment. They're like, you like hip hop, I like Jordans. We the same.
Right.
I I got the book immediately. I ran to the store and got the book. I'm working at Park and Rec, and at the time I'm doing well, but I'm like, I would love to work with somebody like that. I'm going on the website trying to find out. Whole time they got an apprenticeship program. So now I see that and I put in my resume and everything like that. Mind you, I'm so young and dumb. This is how young and dumb I was. I went to the HR girl. She was cool. Shout out Ebony. She was cool. I went to her and said, hey, can you help me with my resume? Not realizing like,
How do you went to HR at your current job to help you with your resume?
listen, but she was good folks though. She was good folks though.
You was
And
wild lover for that one.
just not knowing. And I remember putting in the application in, and at this time I'm doing the job, but you know what it's like. You work in the job and you don't care no more. And it started to affect my teammates because I oversaw the central area and I had two other people, shout out Shalissa and MK, that oversaw the other side. And I was just like, man, I'm ready to go. And I had already said I'm leaving the company, and out of nowhere, I quit and the leader, the division chief for that department, a black man, he pulled me into his office and he was like, "Are you serious? You want to do this?" And he was right though. He's like, "Look, stay in your cubicle here, build up." He said, "You're gonna have my office in less than 2 years. I promise you." And I was like, "No." And these are certain moments I feel like, again, with your journey, you have to be, in my opinion, not even just being spiritual, but you have to hear God in your situation. And that was one of the first times I heard God in my situation say, "Who you gonna hear, him or me?" And that was a moment for me. That was my big test where I was like, "Nah, I'm just have to quit." And I remember going to my car, and I was sitting in my car, and I was just like, "What am I doing? What am I doing?" And I get a call out of nowhere saying, "Hey, you know, we might have an opportunity, but just wait." So I'm like, "All right, cool." It's just a random opportunity. So, in those moments when you think like, "What am I doing?" You might have another job coming up. And that's not translation. So now I'm done with it. I'm about to go on my last day of work, and I kept trying to send this application in. Like, it kept bouncing back. Like, it kept bouncing. Every time I would send it, it would bounce back. And I would call up there to the point where, "Hey, oh, what's going on, Dutch? How you? Woo, 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 woo." "No, we still looking at application." I'm like, "But I keep sending it, and why I keep bouncing back?" No lie, I just so happened to be walking in my cubicle. She said, "Are you by a computer?" I just so happened to walk in. She said, "Send it right now." It was already up on my screen. Click, click. I sent it, and it went through.
Get the fuck out
So,
of here.
oh, I can't make this up. I can't make this up. I'm not hearing anything, and it's like 2 days, 3 days, and you can already imagine like so what are you going to do?
Right, already quit the job.
You and now looking back on it, as you say that, I'm like, they're like, "What is wrong with this child?
Yeah.
How stupid! Why is he doing?" You know what I mean? And now at the same time, I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do, and then I get a random phone call saying that, "Hey, this is Natalie Tavares from Translation. We want to interview you." And I'm like, "What? What? Hold on, what?" And she's like, "Yeah, next week. Be ready for a phone interview." I get on the phone interview. They know more information about me than I think. I'm like, "Whoa." So now, guess what she's asking me questions about? The book. She's asking
Oh,
about
Oh,
the
the
book.
Ten of America joint? Oh,
Yes.
snap. Which,
So
by the way, he was ahead of his time when he wrote that book,
come
too.
on. Can you
yeah.
imagine what he's talking about is literally what we're
Right
going
now. Yep.
scared. And when she's asked, so you can imagine, I done read that book front and back already. So she's like, "How are you answering these questions so well?" You know what I mean? And I told her I read the book. I'm really interested in the company. So she said, "Okay, well, we're in New York." Whole stop right there. My man Mike Dodson, shout out my man Mike. He goes to St. John's University. So mind you, I'm just like maybe a year or two removed from copping in college, undergrad. So my man is maybe a senior or junior year at St. John's. I tell him I quit. He like, "Yo, I'm the vice president of the Black Student Union. Yo, we having the summer concert." The summer concert was Big Sean, Janae Ayako, and
Wow.
That was the summer concert. That
Right.
was the spring blend concert. So he said he coming up. He was like, "Yo, pull up, you good?" So I'm on the phone now on the interview, and I said, "Well, I'm actually gonna be in New York next week." She said, "Okay, great. We'll do your follow-up interview then." Boom. I go to New York now. My first time on the train by myself is going to the interview. I'm in the interview, and they taking me to each room, and I go to this last room. Her name was Nur Ozdemir. When I tell you, that's the first time I've ever seen I don't know what she is. She might be Persian. She might Persian. I don't know where she was from, but I was just like, it was like not even Kim Kardashian because she better than that. It was just like, when somebody fine that you can't even look at, like you're not trying to make direct eye contact because you get.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting in there. I go in her office, and she's like, "Tell me, boom, 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 what you done?" She looking at. She's like, she say, Wale? And I was like, yeah. She says, she get quiet. And she said, you know what's crazy? When I first came to this country, Wale's older brother is the one that gave me my first job working at Cornerstone, I think it was.
Yo, that's
She,
crazy.
Wow.
she
That's
said, work
crazy,
at
man.
Cornerstone. And she's like, well, if you looked out for me like that, I'm going to look out for you. So I leave there. Now I'm like, it's lit. Now I'm feeling like, yeah, I know what the fuck I'm doing. You know what I mean? And I come back home and I didn't hear anything. I did not hear anything. No funny time. So now I'm working at Lake Arbor, helping them with their marketing. Shout out Crystal. She put me on, helped me out in between time. And I'm still at this place like, what is going to happen? And I'll never forget, I went to the computer that day I said that. And I looked and it said it didn't have the email. She said it was a certain date that it'd be there, and the email didn't get there. So I call up, I'm like, yo, ooh, ooh, ooh. She like, oh well, I want to tell you, but she pretty much was like, we're fighting for you.
Oh shit.
Like there's a certain amount of spots, and we're fighting for you. So for me, I'm like, I went from reading a book to going to New York to now hearing somebody say you fighting for me. I get a next day, I get an email that I've been accepted into the program. Mind you, I left the job not knowing that this was going to be a paid situation or not.
Oh shit.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So what you saying? What you saying is you should have no problem in the faith department, brother.
Yeah, you can't have no problem with the faith
Faith,
department.
faith, and fearlessness, man. That's what
Yes.
And
How was
even
it working with Steve Stout though? How was that? Like, did you meet him?
tell you what's crazy. So I was in there when Kanye West came through this. Like I was so blessed to see so many. One from a learning standpoint, I got to work on some dope accounts. I was a junior strategist under Matt Ferrigno. Matt Ferrigno was running the brand and partnerships for Def Jam at the time, and now he's like Bad Bunny's manager. You know what I mean? Like
Oh
he.
shit.
So, but the blessing of it was like Bud Light, all the Bud Light platforms, like Bud Light La Marita, like when they had Swiss Beats with the summertime, like working
Yeah.
on the ad. When Barclay Center was opening up, Made in America, we worked on that one. That was one of his. I created the art contest with that. Steve Stout, I'm gonna tell you, I had an experience with Steve Stout, and I don't know why I was scared. I wasn't scared of him, but bro,
He could be kind of intimidating, I can tell.
outside of just who he is, he low. First of all, he's solid, like a solid 6'2", 6'2", 6'3".
Okay.
I didn't know he was that big.
That's what I said. So when I was seeing him in passing, just his energy, like, he not saying much, he just walking through the office real quick and he'll go upstairs. But one day, and it was a day that I was trying to skip out the office quick, so I could come back down to DC to go do District Underground on U Street.
I remember that.
So imagine, you trying to leave the office and you in there and then the door closing and a hand get in the elevator. Boom, out. I'm like, oh shit. So he in there, he looking me up and down. He literally mugged me like, what you do here? Like I'm like, oh, I'm a junior strategist. I work under Matt. He like, how old is you, nigga? At this time, I had to been like 27, 28. He's like, you don't think you're a little old? Oh, funny time. He said that. I was like, nah, I'm in the right place to be. And he looked at me and was like, all right, keep working. And stepped off. And that was the first time I saw him, but it was cool, but I was in the meetings when he would rip the whole team apart. And that was the first time I saw where he wasn't messing around. Like he wanted, and not only that, it showed me in leadership that, he's a cool guy, but he leads the energy of you better have that shit done. Because if he call on your name in that meeting and you ain't got no answer, he fitting to flame you up.
And see that's what happens with the pod. I'm that guy. So when we have our meetings, I rip these niggas the fuck up. Let
I
them
believe
know.
it. That's
Since I
how
ain't
it
got
works.
okay, all right. So
I
that's
think now it makes sense. They might laugh at you, but
yeah.
nah,
But
we might
nah,
laugh. We gonna
they
do. We gonna do.
So back to the pod. So Tunji, how'd your transition get to LA? You back to the pod. How'd you make a transition to LA? You know what I'm saying? What was that like?
Man, the transition to LA was cool. Shout out Jade, because Jade literally told me, she said, "Look, stop calling me asking me about the weather. If you really want to come out here and be an actor, I got a couch." So that was the first spot. I'm like, oh shit, like I just need to get. So again, imagine the story I told you. So I moved out to LA February 5th, 2012. I moved out there. I was there maybe 3 days, and I got my first opportunity to play Big Worm in kind of like a pilot TV show of Friday.
oh wow.
Oh shit.
They had
You
a
know,
pilot TV show for Friday?
it was, I guess they were trying to make one. They sold it. I think it was, I want to say it was Pooh or who it was that was involved with it, but if he was involved with it. But yeah, I went out there and played Big Worm. I was in the ice cream truck and all. And when I got that and when I got there, it was again that moment of, are we here? You know what I mean? I won't lie. I'm a person that I could quit a job today and have another one tomorrow. And genuinely, I thought when I got to LA, that was going to be the play. But of course, when you're looking for a job, it's the hardest to find one. But when you're not looking for it, every opportunity come around.
Yeah, that's how it is. Yeah.
So I'm in LA trying everything. Like, and mind you, I have a college degree. I got a year in master's experience in marketing, and I could not get a job. And I'm not lying. Only time I would get an interview is if I said I only had a high school diploma. I done been on
Crazy.
I done been on interviews where literally the manager is telling me, no, I'm not hiring you. You're not taking my job. Legit. So it forced me to throw events or get in that space of, I got to figure out a way to make some money. So at the same time of me doing that, I joined the Dustin Felder's acting studio at that time. Rest in peace, Dustin Felder. And I was blessed. I was around so much talent that, you know, it forced me to get better, because I didn't go to school for acting. I didn't go to, I didn't minor in it. I didn't go do theater. I went in there. And when I took the class, I was in the beginners at first, and then he pushed me up to the second level, intermediate level. And after my second time taking the class, then it was time for me to go to the master class, and he held me back. And he was like, I'm not going to push you up. I remember being hot. I was like, you hating ass nigga. But, DC, this area always think a nigga hating on him or something
Yeah,
like
we
that.
don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear that.
Hey, and he's seen what I got. So,
Right.
but I'm so glad that he did it, because he really wanted me to understand the technique, or let it become a skill and not let it just be that you got a decent talent. You know what I mean? So I went from there, and being in class with people who are playing leads on TV show right now. I don't even like names, but
I
fuck
mean, you
it.
can name drop.
You know,
Name drop, bro. That's what we here for. Hey, you got a name drop. Hey.
that's just not me. So, but you can imagine
Yeah.
going to class and you got a young guy that's lit on social media named Woody McClain, and I'm watching him sit next to him in class, and he's like, "Yo, I really want people to take me serious as an actor." And to
Right.
see him
Hey,
now,
look,
that
if you don't know Woody McClain, that's Bobby
Man, it's
Brown.
Kane.
Yeah,
Kane.
Hey,
Yeah.
that boy, but
Bobby
he's super
Brown.
talented. He's super talented, man. He
Yeah.
dance, he rap,
No,
he
he
sing.
definitely
He
made
did that.
that. He definitely made that Kane character look real. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
he
To
ain't
see
body
that,
that.
to be in a class with that guy, and even being able to do videos with him, then seeing another guy that's lit on Vine at the time, and he popping, he's taking class. He from Virginia, light skinned dude from Virginia. He like, nah, I'm trying to do my thing and acting for real. And Melvin Gregg, y'all know him as Man Boy.
Man,
You know,
boy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's my classmate right there. Then there's
Wow.
Iantha Richardson in the classroom with me. She's on Will and Trent right now. Don't tell mommy the babysitter's dead. She the lead on Will, one of the leads on there. Who else? My bro Cleveland Birdo. Cleveland Birdo played, if you watch the Salt and Pepper documentary, he played Mr. Bugsby or whatever his name is.
Right.
So these are classmates of Keith Powers. Like, it's so many more. I could keep going on and on and on. I think Keith was a New Edition as well.
Yeah, Keith Powers is it?
Yeah.
So you can imagine I'm in this classroom and they aren't that yet, but I'm in the gym with them. You know what I mean? So
it's fine with them.
So me coming out to LA again, it just felt like I know I'm supposed to be here. I knew it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm glad I made the steps, but it became more difficult because I had to try and find the balance of I'm chasing my dream, but I still have to find balance in reality.
Right.
I'm going on auditions.
That's important. Yeah.
I'm still trying to make ends meet, figure it out. I don't got bread to help Jake out. I ain't got no job. So now I'm like, all right, we're going to throw parties and figure something out. Luckily, a youngin' that I was, because Jade ended up moving back out. She ended up moving back out east. And luckily, a youngin' I was dealing with or dating at the time, she was like, nigga, you over here all the time anyway. Come on. You know what I mean? I was thankful that, that she held it down there. And the blessing that she just allowed me to be creative. Like, she was really like, dope. Look, I'm finna go work, whoop, 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 da-da-da-da-da, but go ahead, do your thing, audition. She was an actress herself as well, or is probably. I don't know if she's still acting, but yeah, man. So the transition was different. And at the same time, when stuff wasn't clicking, I still didn't want to, my parents calling like, how is it? Did you book a role yet? I'm like, yeah, it's going well. But I'm like, damn, I can't even get an interview. I'm trying to figure out this, that, and the third. Shit, by this time, I think I probably had an EBT card. Like, you know what I mean? Like, trying to make sure yes, you know what I mean? But I was thankful. I was blessed that even within the first year, I got my agents, HRI Talent. Because of being in the class, he had a showcase. And by him having a showcase, ironically enough, it was playing an African dude. And what was, and even funny thing about it was I didn't want to do it at first because I was like, man, that's the last thing I want to do is looking like I'm trying to shame my people and whatnot.
Right.
And ironically enough, the one time he was like, just try it and trust me, just try it. Boom. It was like, oh yeah, I like him. And ironically enough, my agents were there to see Keith, and I have the same agents. So they were there to see him, and they was like, who are you? Whoopie whoop, whoopie whoop. So auditioning for that, and within maybe 2 months, 3 months, I had booked the Maroon 5 jump. Maroon 5 show.
Yeah, the video.
Yeah, so when I booked that that moment, it was kind of like, oh nah, bro. This year. Pay wasn't nothing, but the best feeling was I left 90. Everybody back home already like, nigga, you gonna leave a radio station, Slim? You crazy. What else you wanna to now being on set for Maroon 5? And mind you, I didn't even know if somebody else mentioned it. I didn't know it had that many views, or it's like the most viewed video on YouTube or something like that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, nah, that joint up there, man. Yeah, that joint up there. Yeah. It's up there, yeah. It's in that red sphere of like 1 billion streams, or whatever, yeah.
I did not know that. Somebody mentioned that the other day. So moments like that.
Now I want to talk about Black Jesus, yeah.
Oh man.
Because you played in Black Jesus.
I did.
And did you get a chance to meet Weatherspoon, John Weatherspoon?
Yeah. Want me to tell you a crazy, crazy story. No funny time. Rest in peace.
We'll take him.
Funny time. So mind you, again, I booked that role because I played a taxi cab driver on that master Dustin Felder's class. I booked my agents because I was in the intermediate class. The master class, I booked Black Jesus. And Amber Bickham, she was the casting director, and she came to the John, and I was playing a taxi cab driver, and I was African. So here we go again. The one thing that I'm worried about, not trying to shame, is
they keep giving you the African.
Yeah. Keep giving you your role.
But you have to think about it. I'm coming to you like this right now. So boom, I get the audition. it's me, the lead character Slink, OG Slink.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
Slink Johnson. He talking to me before. He said, "Oh, you going for the role of Frank?" I'm like, yeah. So now I'm auditioning. We doing the jump. She stopped me in the middle. She was like, give me what you did at that. I want that. That's why I brought you here. Give me that. We do it over again, and I jump out with an accent. Slink loses lines. He like, hold on, what? You know, and that booked it. And from that moment, it was like, all right, cool, we booked it. Now when I get on set, I'm like, damn, I'm on set for real. Then what was crazy was, I don't know what was going on, but they were like, oh, like when you get on set, they'll be like, oh, the character you're playing, oh, Frank. You know, by this time I've been on set, they're like, okay, cool. But when I was on set, getting on it, they're like, oh, you're Frank. Oh, you're Frank. So I'm like, all right. They're like, your trailer's right over there in the back, right? So I got a whole trailer, like, not like.
And you knew he was going to be reoccurring.
Come on now, talk to me. I'm like, oh, you know how I'm expecting a little small, you know, the small.
They'll give you a room.
I'm talking about, I'm in there. We could have filmed something we wanted to film in that thing right there. For real. So I'm in the trailer and I'm hyped. They were shooting the show in Long Beach. So I'm in the trailer and I look out my window, right? And I'm like, that shit. This is where I'm looking out the window. I'm like, how the fuck we on set? And there's homeless people by my trailer of all people. So I'm like, whatever, dog. Door. Funny time. The girl knocked on the door. She like, hey, we're gonna get you ready in wardrobe. Da. She said, I'll be back. So mind you, I'm thinking when the dude see the homeless person gonna see her, he gonna walk away or something like that. He's still right by the trailer. Man, I can't have nothing. Man, when I go down the
You didn't know the homeless person.
I can't have nothing.
Because he definitely played the homeless person on that show.
So imagine now, and you know us. We like,
Hey, yo, you about to call security on John Willis?
Listen, I done turned into a Karen on the set. I don't know. I just want to know who that's. I get down the step, no funny time. And I'm so blessed that this happened for me. I get down the steps and I'm trying to walk by, and then he turns around and I'm like, because he looked dirty. Like and he's like, oh, young man. You know what I mean? Like,
Young man, yeah.
Hey, you sound like him now.
Pops. No funny, Pops is Pops.
The whole time, yeah.
The whole time. That's how he is for real.
I seen him perform stand up like right before he passed.
Yeah, me too.
So now I'm standing there talking to him. He like, where are you from? I was like, I'm from the DC area. He's like, DC, man, I got so many. So mind you, the reason why he was there, his trailer was next door to mine. So now all of a sudden we're talking, then two other people walk out. Rest in peace. Charlie Murphy comes out of nowhere.
Oh, yeah, he was on that joint.
Yeah.
Charlie Murphy walks right out of nowhere. And then Pinky, he's on the show as well. These guys are standing right here. And they're like, yeah. He like, oh, this little nigga, he from DC, man. You know Pinky from the city as well. Pinky,
yeah.
Clifton Powell.
Clifton Powell, yeah. I was trying to remember that.
Yes, Clifton Powell. So now when Clifton Powell found out I'm from there, he like, oh, yeah. So now they talking to me and everything like that. So while we're all, and mind you, it's even more different because imagine all the people that are on the set working or actors are looking like, who the fuck is this?
You're right. Who is this little dude?
Who is he kikiing? So the girl walks over and she's like, Frank, we need you on set right now. These niggas say, we coming to watch your scene.
Oh, snap.
So my first time doing television, it's the scene. All of them, you know, King Batch, all of them is in the scene. Mm-hmm. And I come out and Slink is there. I don't know camera angles.
Yeah.
So I'm fucking up the first take. I'm just messing up the first take. You know what I mean? So it's to the point where the director's like, Frank, come on. So You know, to this day, oh God,
you got one shot out here.
And they on the sidelines right now looking.
Look, Slink, it's to the point where Slink had to pull me. He's like, come here real quick. Slink hit me with the, hey, nigga, stop. Listen. You gonna look at this camera when it's the next time, then it's his chance, and then it's my chance. Don't go over no lines. But it was happening so fast that I had to pick it up.
Yeah.
So I do the scene again. I don't even get to finish the scene because the first two takes, because I was looking at the wrong camera.
Oh shit.
I get the jitter. I ain't gonna lie, that was jitters. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
So now I do the first take of my scene. Man, they hear me come out with the African, because nobody's expecting an African accent.
Yeah.
So imagine Clifton Powell, Charlie Murphy, and John Witherspoon on the side. I do my scene and I finish. They say, cut.
All
right.
You remember your lines?
They like, he got an African accent. He got an African accent.
Do you know your lines? Do you remember the lines? Do you remember the line you said?
It was like, stop that. You will not drop any, because it was like some pilots that they were trying to get. You will not drop that pilot, you and your friend. And this, you know what's crazy? I was so pissed because after that take, so they gave me 2 takes to do. They were liking the takes. So usually what happens is, depending on who your director is, they'll be like, all right, give me what I need, which is the exact lines. Mm-hmm. Give me what you got, like what you got. And then they'll say, you know, give me something different from what we already have done. Mm-hmm. So, you know, impeccable. And it was like a scene where I was joning all of them. So every take would be a different zone. So mind you, after a while, Corey Holcomb. Corey Holcomb was cooling on the joint. Then he just started flaming my joint. I'm talking about
shit.
That if you watch that scene where he was like, "You tripping for no reason. You out here looking like a Nigerian Michelin man," because he listen. I was so pissed. I was like, they didn't put none of the jumps that we got on there. They gonna take that once.
They set you up, shit.
Yo, no funny time. I was hot, but I was so like, even after that, it was like when I finished that scene, you know, it was so cool because the OGs was right there. The Slink, he gave me one of these, like kind of like gave me a little pound, like good shit, nigga.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, waited.
Hey, nah, you was around some heavy hitters, man. God damn.
Of the show. Like, even though it was such, you know, the comedy was so crass in certain ways, but the medicine, the way that they would feed you, the medicine was so genius. Yeah.
Dope.
So you talk about comedy, and that's what I wanted to get to at this segment right here, because it was a.
We've been up here a while, you know.
Oh no, brother.
Cool.
Hey, brother, you talking to?
I got 3 nights a weekend.
Yeah.
Dog.
Hey, you talking to the producer? I can cut this shit right.
Don't,
you know what I'm saying? I cut this shit
like
right.
They say, don't mess with the person making the food. We gonna eat off the edit.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. So comedy. So you took another transition, fearless. Like I adore like your fearlessness. You gonna go and get what you want to, you know, do. So being around all these comedians, you know, and then going into comedy. Describe this particular night, man, where you found yourself in a comedy room, man, and people going up on stage, and you had somebody with you that night, man. Could you walk us through that night, man, and just explain?
So I had come back from LA real quick, and Anika, shout out to Anika. Anika's one of the people that when I left Park and Rec, she literally was like, go. You know, she's like, you ain't got no kids. You ain't got no, you know what I mean? Go. So when she came back, she was like, when you gonna start doing stand-up? And I'm like, I don't know. She's like, you playing. And then she said, I'm gonna find a spot and you and James, you know what I mean, y'all gonna go. But the dope thing, she found like a random spot in VA. For me, now it's not random, but back, I was like, all right, we all the way in VA. And during this time, I had just in LA kind of just started doing, and again, now that you talk about it, I wasn't realizing being at Flappers, which is kind of like a comedy club that's big in Burbank, but it's like more wider audience than it is ours in comedy. But I was blessed to be able to like open act or be right before the headline, and I was just starting out. So
That's dope.
I'm telling Anika this. She's like, yeah, I need to see this. I need to see this. You
Hey,
So,
do you remember the spot in VA? Was it Ballstone Mall?
what was it? It was
It
kind of,
Jollies.
it looked like
Okay.
It was
Not-
Jollies.
but what was that?
It was Jollies.
Yes. We went out there. I remember I had told a young lady. I remember I told a young lady pull up with me. I came up there and they were all sitting down, had the hookah popping. Mind you, these are all my superiors from work. So from Kelly Beavers. What up, Kelly Beavers? She was there, and he's looking at me. I was looking at him. I was like, "So you finna do this? What's up?" But the crazy part about it was, I remember that after we had our conversation, it was like, "Boop," and next, really had no time, and he was so upfront, like, "Hey, man, I'm doing this for the first," and he had the laughs in the room. And by him going up doing this thing when it was my turn, I felt more confident in doing it, even though I didn't have a set list. Like I wasn't, I didn't have.
Set either.
Yeah, then okay, bet. I didn't know if you had. That's perfect. We didn't have no set list.
Wow.
So
I knew kind of what I wanted to reference or talk about something, but I really didn't know, cause shit, you got there. Like the thing about it is, you go on that stage, them lights bright, you don't see nobody.
Yeah, them lights bright as a motherfucker, bro.
So shit go blank. You don't see nobody. You can't see anybody. So I'm looking for my people so I can be comfortable. Because my thing when I went up there was trying to find somebody I was comfortable with and talk to them and not talk to the audience. Because you're looking at it like the job is to make people laugh. Like, so now this is not a situation where you we just having conversations like we having now, and jokes are flowing. You up there doing a job. So if that shit don't hit, and you trying to find a new
keep it moving fast. Keep moving fast.
But but what's crazy is, bro, is I would never have known that you were nervous, bro. Literally, the fact that you walked out there, that's what made me say, "Oh, this nigga taking this serious." He walked and he moved the mic. And when I was in LA, I would just get on there and start talking, and he had to pull me to the side, like, "Look, you'll get your flow. It don't make sense now, but it's the comfortability. Like in between, what people don't know is as you're moving the mic, you're getting yourself comfortable before you start talking. You know what I mean? You're paying. So for him to do that off the break, I'm like, damn, I'm in LA learning this, and I come back and he's doing comedy for the first time, and he's already doing it.
Naturally.
When I don't even know fucking time. Well, how long we was up there? I don't think we was up there for more than 10. I don't even think we was up there.
That shit was a day, but that shit like 10 minutes is a long fucking time.
So James, man, like you just going up there, you saying the lights is flashing in your face, you can't see nobody, you found somebody to talk to. That's what that like, how do you find a word? Like where do you go with what you're saying?
How
do you gather your thoughts? Like, cause me, I'm like a dead stuck in the head. Like I'm like,
so like you up there now, like it was, that's what it was.
He said, man, women be shopping. Hey, that's how you know, nigga, about it now. That nigga hit that. He hit the joint. Any single ladies in here? Any single ladies?
Yeah, like you just. So I just was like, you know what I mean? I just was looking at the lights. The lights was bright, and I'm just like, well, we here now. So, because my thing was this too: if we bomb, it is what it is. Nobody know me. Like I'm not. That's
exactly how I carried it.
Yeah, like it was not. I'm not a heavyweight. I'm not somebody that's supposed to make people laugh. I just came up here because they asked me to do something, and then when we went up there, I actually got last. But when you start just talking about the situation, you're just talking and you're just having conversations, and that's what it was for me. It was just a conversation of a story. Because I know I'm a good storyteller because I'm animated, so you know what I mean. I tell a little story, so then you start asking the crowd, but then I start asking the crowd. Got the crowd participation in it. You know what I'm saying? And that was that. But he went up there and he killed it. Like he killed the joint. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like he played, what he did was he played to his strengths. You know what I'm saying? That was the thing. Like he never, like he did the, he like, and he said it because he's like, I'm African, you know what I'm saying? And he told his story. Told like how I got into that. And he was like, yeah, they were like, and then he went into the African, like my mom and was like, why are you doing this? And like that shit, like, it killed. It killed. Like it was nothing.
I'm gonna tell you something I never told you before. I tried to go back to LA and do that same jump. It didn't kill.
So what you got going on now? What you got brewing? You know what I'm saying? As we coming down the home stretch, what you got going now? What you got brewing? What you looking to do? Future, everything like that.
I'm still auditioning, as always, still on the grind with the auditions. Keep me in your prayers. We're getting closer and closer to some of these things. I've been doing music, Chief Tunji is the music as well. Coming up with more visuals for the top of the year. I got a lot more, really releasing the art. I found myself being, even with this clothing, just the fact that I got it on, I found myself maybe 2 years ago being a perfectionist where I'm like, nah, I got to be right. Even talking to you, James, where I felt like that. And sometimes you got to have your closest ones kind of like, I'm private. So people are thinking I'm not making music. So imagine your homeboy like, you ain't even making music. And I play. They're like, nigga, you got all this? You need to drop all this. Come on now.
Right.
So really getting the visuals and everything together. The clothing line is going to be dropping. I'm working really in process of getting a couple more stuff shot with a interview series. Really building this brand. I got Mama Falakes, which is a Nigerian kitchen food spot. It's cool to be African now, so we can get the food going. But I got that as well. So it's like, it might seem, it's a weird place to be where it may seem chaotic to others, but it's very organized to me. If that makes any sense. So some people like, you got the clothes, music, and it literally flows into each other.
Right.
So really,
it's all one.
Really building the brand, really making the manifesto, the slogan is create from nothing. And really instilling that and pushing that through whatever media. So,
talk about the filmmaking, screenwriting before we get out of here.
Man, secretly, during the time of me living in LA, it was a certain point in time where I was sleeping in my car because I refused to come back home. You know what I mean? It was time I ain't even tell my family. They'll be like, "So how is it going?" It's going great. I'm living the dream, Mom. Meanwhile, I'm leaning the seat back and putting the jacket on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But during that time, the blessing of it was that I stayed up all night because of where I was staying was kind of in the trenches. So during that time, I would get the instrumentals, freestyle, and then I started just writing. So my classmate, she was a writer, and she showed me an app of how to write scripts. So literally, the app, I downloaded it, and I would start writing shorts. And I would have these ideas, but I never knew how to format it. So now the app Celtics helped me format it, and then I would start coming up with ideas, and I would bring them to class. That same class, Dustin Felder's acting studio, and rest in peace, Dustin. I was so thankful he would let my classmates act out the scenes. So it started out from there where they were like, "Yo, these are dope," to me wanting to start making short films. And for example, I had an idea for a music video. I was like, yo, I want to make my own short film. So for myself is I have Queen, a song called Queen, and I made a short film called Looking for My Queen. So it's a short film, but within it, my song Queen is played. So it's kind of like, it's a way of kind of showing, again, like I said, everything at once, where I'm showing you I can act. I'm showing you that I can perform. I'm an artist. I'm showing you that I'm a screenwriter as well. So the writing side, I have a guy, my bro, David. David Hightower. We kind of like collabing, writing scripts. So we've been pitching stuff. We've been putting our stuff together. I think now it's a moment of, if you got the idea, it just depends on who you tell it to. Because some people, I've learned kind of like not being whatever someone needs, but when you are a piece of the pie that somebody needs, somebody might be able to have the money to produce a film, but they can't write it.
Right.
I might not have the money to produce a film, but I can write it.
Right.
So just being one hand for each other. So we preparing for that. It's a weird place to be where you have faith on it. Because in my mind, I might be worried about music and acting, and who knows, one of the scripts might get bought off, and we talking different.
So man, so if you need a talent or anything like that, in the audition tapes and things, you can run it through me. I can see what character I can probably invite. I got I got some. I did a cool little Ronnie, off of Power Kanan.
Man, he had a small rendition of Ronnie.
Right now, I want to start off as completely opposite as I am. So I want give me a dark character. I want to challenge myself. I want to. All right.
I'm not even being funny with you. I really like. It's weird being like telling people back home, like, nah, I really write scripts. So it's like, don't be surprised out of nowhere.
I'm serious.
We in there. The Pit Stop Podcast. We're gonna be on it. We're gonna be on it, baby.
Listen,
don't forget we got Chill too, man. He a part of the pod too. So
him good too. If I listen, man.
Hey, look, before we get out of here, man, we got a segment on the show, man. It's called a Victory Lap.
Yes, sir.
So the victory lap, man, we had an excellent pod. Your victory lap is where you win the race. And for us, it's the race of life. Mm-hmm. And so in our victory lap, we want to know what's a gem or something you can give to people, man. Some kind of motivation, or a gem or whatever.
I will say, talk to God. I know it sounds crazy and it sounds weird when, people say the spiritual side, but talk to God about it on every level. I look at him as like a coach. Imagine yourself as a All-American high school athlete, and you going to the 11th grade, and you got a coach that's legendary, and he know what he can do to get you to the next level. Sit down and talk to him. And I feel like outside of entertainment or your dreams, the Have a Talk with God Stevie Wonder song, that's real. And I think a lot of us have ideas, but the purpose and where you need to go gonna come from him. So I definitely would say talk to God and continue to create from nothing. You a manifester. All of us are manifestors. You know what I mean?
That's the name of the pod. That's gonna be the name of the pod today. Create from nothing.
Literally, we all trying to do that no matter what it is. Create
exactly.
From nothing. And every day it's a Nigerian saying, but it's the truth. Every day may be for the thief, but one day is for the owner. You know what I mean? Every day may be for the thief, but one day the owner is gonna have his day. So the enemy may be stealing from you, the devil may be taking, knocking you down every single day. But one day the owner, which is you and God, when he puts that situation together for you, you're gonna have your day. And they're gonna have to deal with you.
Dang. Shit, that's what's up. Shit, that's talking to me for me. I was like, yeah, it is my day, goddamn. Yeah. Shit.
Yeah, we appreciate you, bro. Definitely, man. Thanks for blessing this show, bro. We appreciate taking the time out. Hey, K-Ego, man. Where can they find us? You on mute, dummy.
Come on, get come on, producer.
Producer, I knew you was gonna do that. But real talk,
he was viral. He's like, hey, now you know who he is.
All this gonna be cut out. Like you're not gonna see my fuck up.
No.
You're not gonna see my fuck up.
We gonna keep this.
You know that right now.
Keep this in. Don't do that.
Hey, Chief, you know who he is though? He is the James Winston of the podcast, yo.
No!
He gonna throw touchdowns. He gonna throw 300 yards. But he might have a pick 6 or 2.
He gonna throw 2 pick 6s,
boy. Hey, He will give you a
He gonna break
motivational.
the single game record for passing yards.
Yeah.
God.
He's the James Winston of the pod, son. AKA James Winston. That's your new name, bro. AKA
Ego,
J-Bo.
AKA James Winston.
AKA J-Bo. New name J-Bo, son.
man.
So the
AKA
answer
J-Bo.
to the question is you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, man. That is at the Pit Stop Podcast, man. That's our YouTube. You can see the handle right below my name. Make sure y'all check us out and make sure y'all hit that subscribe button.
Yes. And you can see him playing this Sunday. Again.
Hey.
It's how I know y'all homeboys for real, because mind you, only a real nigga go round the back. Oh, no. I'm not done with that yet. Come here. You thought I was going to get that James. Look, when the comedian find the gym, he like, oh, no. We're going
to run that. Hey, I just want to get this in, too. Shout out to my fantasy football team. I sent E-Ass home. I'm going to the championship. I'm going to the championship, baby. I'm going to the championship, baby.
You forgot it's 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah. You still got another week left.
So are y'all all Commanders fans, by the way, or no?
No.
None of us are Commanders.
None of us are.
No. And we said that so fast. No.
And that's what annoyed me too. That first of all, don't even do it like it's disgusting. Like I asked a bunch of Muslim brothers, "Do you eat swine?" It's like,
you better get that goddamn pork away from you, man. Everybody messing with that swine. You crazy?
pork, brother, put it down. Oh God, y'all are hilarious.
Yeah, man.
Hey, with that said, man, it's the Pissed Out Podcast. We out.